But then the show got better and better when I watched it a little more and more. It was actually pretty funny, and I'm still stunned I'm stunned by the fact random DCE loves this show, when normally I thought he would hate a lot of things that were found in that show.
See, but the thing is, that brings his anime he likes total up to 3, and that's a big deal.
Yeah! Next to Slayers and Azumanga Daioh. 3, ladies and gentlemen, we've accomplished something.
I saw it, and I'm like, God damn it, if he likes this. It's Western, really. The storytelling is Western. The whole thing is not an anime in the traditional sense of anime. It borrows a lot from, like, Craig McCracken, Gennady Tartakovsky, like that sort of style, like Powerpuff Girls.
A bit from Jonan Vasquez.
A little bit, yeah. It's not really that much. Just that Chuck kind of looks like Gurr, but,
yeah,
you know.
I kind of wish Chuck was a Gurr ripoff because Gurr was fucking funny. Chuck is just an annoying dog that just gets beaten up from time to time. That's it.
I feel that he's a combination of Filler Bunny and Gurr. And if you out there are fans of Jonan Vasquez, and you read his stuff, like his comics, then you should know who Filler Bunny is. Because I honestly think he's a combination of Filler Bunny and Gurr, in a sense. Because, you know, Filler Bunny is like, hi, I'm the filler. Please, I want to die. My life is so horrible. Please kill me. I don't want to be, you know, treated like crap and experimented on and all this other stuff anymore. Yay, filler! Like, you know, that was the humor. And then, you know, you have Gurr's design. So you have this sense of, wow, Chuck is the guy that we just beat the shit out of because it's funny. But you have Gurr's design in it.
Yeah.
So I feel he's a combination of 2 things. Instead of just Gurr. He, in essence, in design, he is kind of a Gurr ripoff.
Or inspiration, depending if you like the show or not. I still stand by that.
I think they were very inspired by Western animation when they make it.
Obviously. They have an whole... I haven't seen this episode yet, but apparently they had a whole episode making fun of G1 Transformers. And even the Michael Bay movies. And I'm like, okay, I gotta see that episode. Because Stocking looks like Megatron and it's fucking funny.
It was basic. It was pretty funny, actually. I enjoyed the episode. The problem is people, when they watch anime, what is usually the episode format in most anime? Like, you just have one episode, there's a running story, and you watch the whole episode to get from point A to point B, whereas in American cartoons, you have, like, 2 mini episodes in an episode, kind of, where, you know, oh, here's this part of the episode where they have this story, and then we have a completely different thing in the second half of the episode. It's a completely different cartoon. It's like 2 cartoons in one episode. And that is a very uniquely Western episode format. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In anime, that never really happens, except maybe in Azumanga Daioh, but it was like all over the place, you know?
Actually, Doko-chan had that same format once.
Yeah, very few animes have that format. Very few. Because it's always one big episode where a whole bunch of shit is explained and we have to follow the story. Which I feel is kind of counterproductive in some animes. Because then it's like, we have to go do something, but then we're going to have filler for like 10 seasons or whatever. And then it takes forever. And I feel that chopping up the episode format, I think, would actually help anime that tends to go on forever.
Oh, dude, to be honest, I can't stand anime that goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
That's why I got tired of One Piece. And
it just, they, you know, one episode, some dude runs. Next episode, he actually throws the punch. That's how I see it as.
A lot of shonen anime is like that because I feel that a lot of shonen anime usually comes from stuff like Shonen Jump and these mangas.
Yeah,
you know what?
I hate that shit, by the way.
The thing is, if it goes on forever, then have good filler. I have no issue with filler, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, neither do I. In fact, let's redefine filler, or let's define what filler is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what's filler. I heard you can actually make entire filler. You can actually make filler story arcs, which blows my mind.
Oh
Like,
yeah, you can do filler story arcs.
because I've seen Slayer's had a couple filler episodes, or to me they look like filler, but they were funny. They were just one episode and that's it. You mean to tell me you actually have entire story arcs of being pointless? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like here's a pointless story arc to keep you interested. But the thing is, they're devoting so much time to the stuff that isn't filler.
Like flashbacks?
Yeah, like they devote so much time to the shit that isn't filler that the filler is sort of neglected. And it's meant to degrade in quality in a sense. That's the issue that I find with most filler, is that they spend so much time developing the story arc that is canon to the manga, but they completely neglect to realize we need to make this filler interesting to keep our viewers interested while we work on this. And then the whole quality just degrades over the course of the series, not because there's too much filler, mind you, because while I'm not a huge fan of filler, I have no issue with it. Allow me to elaborate, okay? The issue isn't there's too much filler. The issue is there's too many crappy episodes that don't have a point. And we're going to let that stretch an entire story arc.
Yes, Naruto eats breakfast for 20 minutes.
Yeah, like it's stupid. I wouldn't have a problem with filler as long as it's good filler. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If it's good filler, I have no issue with filler. But that's the thing. Most filler is not good. Most filler is crap.
Which, brings me to my next question. Why don't they just wait till the manga's like 20 volumes ahead? Or why not just actually try something different, diverge the story from the manga's story, and try to be different like Trigun and the first Full Metal Alchemist?
See, that's what I think. I think, not that there should be loose adaptations of things, you know what I mean? I don't think there should be a loose adaptation of the manga to the point where it just completely no longer resembles it, and then you get a lot of viewers upset that are only watching the anime because they like the manga, or, anything like that, or vice versa. It's just an issue where they can't wait until the manga stuff is ahead. I feel that you should wait at least 10 volumes, because then you have no real excuse for filler.
Yeah. Have some patience.
Mm-hmm.
Have patience, but no, everyone's impatient. They want to have their fan subs now. They want to have their shit now.
See, that's the problem, is they don't wait until the manga's ahead, and then they're like, we need to do this to make money.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them for. I mean, Americans have no real issue with making money.
Yeah, Deadpool, and Deadpool. I love Deadpool. I'm going to go...
Deadpool with your Deadpool on top of Deadpool.
Yeah, I'm going to give Marvel more money to make more Deadpool. Yeah. That should tick off some Marvel elitists.
It's just really, their goal is to make money.
Yeah, just like Nintendo.
Everything degrades as a result. Everything just gets degraded as a result.
Yeah.
The quality of the animation's choppy in certain points, usually. A whole bunch of other things. And I think this is the issue that most people have with anime. It's like, oh, the animation's choppy. But the thing is, the animation can be choppy, yes, but in what series? Because I've seen actual anime movies. I was actually watching the second Vampire Hunter D movie, right?
Awesome.
In my old house. My grandpa just walks into the living room. He's like, my God, what are you watching? I'm like, it's Vampire Hunter D. It's about some vampire hunter named D. You can watch it if you want. And then he's like, the attention to detail, it's beautiful. And, my grandpa's the one that got me into animation, so he knows what he's talking about, He loves cartoons, this guy.
I love how titles of the show explain everything to you, or at least explain who the character is.
Yeah. And, they just tell you everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, Card Captor Sakura. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's about a card captor named Sakura.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's all you need to know. Watch the show, sit down, grab a bag of popcorn, and for fuck's sake, enjoy it!
See, but he just sat down, he's watching it.
Yeah.
And he's just amazed by the quality of the animation and the extreme attention to detail that was put in the animation. Like, he's just taken aback. And I feel at some points, when you look at Eastern movie animation that's hand-drawn, you can tell that was more painstakingly done than a lot of, Western animation that was hand-drawn. Because, they put so much attention to detail that it's like on crack, And I don't mean to say that I don't think that Western animation is poor in quality when it comes to movies. Anything Disney does, if it's hand-drawn, tends to be the standard for everything. You know what I mean? Hand-drawn Disney is like, it was always and it will always be the standard for everything, I think. Hand-drawn. And I can't take that away from Disney because, it's the truth. They set the standard, and they still continue to every time they put out something that's 2D. And, Princess and the Frog was beautiful in certain points. And, but then you go and you watch Western animation, and it's smoother, I feel, in TV shows because they tend to use computers now, so there's no more jerky animation. But if you were to compare that to, say, older Japanese animation, it's just not going to be as good, like the Japanese animation looks choppy. It looks really off. It looks like they use like 10 frames a second of animation. And, a lot of corners were cut back in the day. So when anime was first coming here, we were getting these old series where even though the stories were good, the characters were very likable, the animation...
That's where I will disagree sometimes.
Yeah, it depends on the series, I feel. But, for the most part, if there was a little bit of a fan base there, the problem was, if you're comparing, that sort of jerky animation to in the 90s that would come over here and that we would absolutely be enamored with, and we would like these characters and the style of storytelling, like we'd like that. But then you go and you look at some of the cartoons that Disney was putting out in the 90s, and they're better animated. The animation is smoother. Mm-hmm. So I feel that, since we didn't get a low-quality series, mind you, because if it were a really crappy series, it wouldn't have come here. If it didn't generate a buzz, it wouldn't be here. But, the quality in animation, if you were to compare it to 90s Disney animation where they're making like all those shows like Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, like if you were to compare that animation, even though it's sectional, the animation would appear a lot smoother than something like, Sailor Moon. It's a very subtle difference, but if you look at it, you can see that there is a difference in quality. And if you really, really analyze the animation, you can tell when corners were cut. You know what I mean? Like, you can see that sort of thing. And even though, there's sectional animation where they only animate the part that's moving, at the very least, it looks smoother. There's not really much you can say about that, I feel that the animation direction is also, like, the directors, I don't want to say, it's the director's fault, but they play a big role, Yeah, a lot of American cartoons back in the day were outsourced to Korea and, Japan, but they didn't have the same direction. You know what I mean? They had sort of an American direction doing all of this. Even though all the animation started to become outsourced, they still had direction from, the guys in charge. Rough Draft Studios, even though it's in Korea, it was pretty much made by a bunch of Americans that wanted to teach Koreans animation and, they make a profit. Oh, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So, the direction, the animation direction, the westernized direction is very different, I think, from the easternized direction. So that I feel also plays a role, like when you have people directing the animation and supervising it and constantly saying, you need to change that, you need to change this. That, I think, plays a bigger role more than anything. not where it comes from, but how it's directed. You know?
Mind Game was a fucked up movie.
I've never seen Mind Game.
I'll show you the trailer.